No Marco, so no puns today. Okay, there we go.
I'll have to think of jokes to tell when we don't have Marco.
You got to sneak in your weekly 6-7 reference.
Oh, I do that already. Don't worry.
Yeah, there's like was it like 6 or 7 leaks?
Yeah. Pre-stream chat gets to know about that. That's a Patreon exclusive information.
That's true. We can't talk about quantity, you're saying? Or that was just a joke? Like
quantity? Oh, no, you can...
of leaks. Like there was 7 leaks.
You can talk about how many there were and stuff. You can't give away, like, details of the footage, is what I understood.
Okay.
Anything that would be considered a spoiler, so mechanics, anything to do with cutscenes. Not that a lot of that stuff's shown, but anything like that. Because that's giving away proprietary information.
Yeah, basically just assume you haven't seen the leaks, but you've heard about them, and I think.
Okay.
I think saying things like, "Yo, there's cars in GTA," or "There's planes."
Whoa!
I think that's
careful.
I think that's on the board. I think I can say that.
Yeah.
But I would avoid specific stuff. Yeah,
that's okay. We can. It doesn't have to always be about spoilers either. We could talk about the.
I got plenty to say about the leaker. I have some strong
Netflix
opinions.
And whatever, like the the ramification of it being on Netflix or whatever, like the predictions there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds really good. So we can share that link, and then I'll share the Twitch one as well. I remember one time when I was getting the streams ready, I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't at everyone. That's kind of rude. And then I was like, this is my server.
Sure.
I had that thought the other day. I was like, what am I worried about? This is my server.
If people are in this server, they
want to know
to get stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, no, do it. Did you tune into Mark's live stream as he finished Dark Souls 3?
I did. I was there.
Oh, okay, good.
I was very much there. I wish you could have been on last night, as I had to. I explained some core action game Souls mechanics to Liz, which was very fun. If she happens to see this in pre-stream chat, she can type something about it. But she's been playing Kingdom Hearts. I will talk about this on the podcast because I've been playing it too. But like her doing one of the Coliseum fights against Cerberus in the Hercules world, and me having to be like, you have iframes when you roll. When he goes to bite, you roll. When you roll, it won't hit you.
That's
can do it.
Funny.
He can't attack under himself. It's stand under him. Like it was cool to watch her like learn. It was really cool.
Yeah.
Ready to do. Da-da-da-da. Okay. You can flop. Nope, Joe Bart, stop. I didn't need to see that random ass streamer clip on TikTok as I'm posting this. Okay, there we go. All right, does one of you happen to have the stream up? Can you check if the audio sounds all right? All of us yapping, blah, 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 blah. Because I don't know if anybody's in chat yet, so.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
We are talking. Welcome.
Waiting for the 5-second delay.
I know, yeah.
GTA 6 leaked.
I think I'm a bit louder,
Kingdom
but
Hearts
otherwise.
Let's see.
All right, I'll turn you down like a little bit, Mark, and then we should be good.
Okay.
How do I get chat up?
Are you live?
We are live. Yeah. Say hi. Say hi to the free stream chat. Okay.
Successfully connected.
Once y'all are ready, I'll bring it on in. We're on episode...
I think I'm ready.
Let me double check, actually. I need to do this every week. I'm starting to forget what episode number we're on. I was good until episode 10, and then I was like, oh man, all the numbers are gone. We're on 14. Okay, I was right.
14?
14.
14.
Oh.
Whoa.
That could only mean one thing.
All right, you guys ready?
Yep.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to COFY Cast, episode 14. Almost at 15, almost a 5-digit number. We're getting there. We're excited. Today we have a lot of fun topics, a lot of cool stuff, big news in games that's controversial, some exciting. But I'll actually lead us in here. I owe our audience a mild apology. I think this is a good one to start with here. I made some statements, probably 8 episodes now or something like that, where I said that over my dead body, Kingdom Hearts 4 would come out in the next 5 years. That was proven very wrong, as it appears it will come out next year. I am still shocked about that. But
that's
yeah.
within the next 5 years. You're not wrong.
That's true. But yeah, definitely very shocked by that. I think that's the nicest way I can say it, is to say I'm shocked. Especially considering 3 was delayed, I think 8 times.
Damn.
It was a lot.
8 is a lot. That's crazy.
And I love... Go ahead.
What were you originally expecting before the announcement?
Dude, I was expecting like... This is going to sound so bad, but it really was how I felt. I was expecting probably mid PS6 life cycle.
Oh.
I was very not... I just truly didn't believe in the back of my mind that Nomura was working on 7 Remake and 4 at the same time. I didn't believe Square Enix had 2 full teams going. But it appears they did, which is kind of shocking to me. And he stood on business at that Disney panel. He was like, we will not delay. He's like, it will come out next year. We don't have a specific time yet, but end of next year, it will be out. I've never seen him say that. He usually is not one to be confident like that, so clearly it must have been in development for a while. I'm shocked, to say the least. I still wouldn't be surprised if he has to bring that statement back. I'm curious if he's pushing for that date because he wants to get the game out before the disc deadline. Because Nomura is very much a physical media dude. He always releases these crazy physical releases for Kingdom Hearts. So I'm not sure if that has anything to do with it, or it's just that's the timeline, is he wants it out at the end of the life cycle.
Yeah, because we were talking about this a bit earlier. That honestly, they've probably just been working on it, and I think we can go into a bit more of some of the theories about Kingdom Hearts, like we've been talking about, like what to expect from it. But with certain, especially with Disney and its expanded lineup since the last one, I feel like my thinking is that a lot of it sort of why it took a while, but because it's like when did they release the first trailer of Kingdom Hearts 4?
About
the very first
5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah. So it's like it looked like they had at least the cutscene, and I don't remember if there was any gameplay. Probably not.
Very little, like
very
15
little,
seconds.
Yeah. So what I was thinking, and this is someone who hasn't played any Kingdom Hearts, but I feel like a big part of it is like they were just still figuring out like what to include in it, and you'd have to sort of wait for all the legalese and all that to sort of pass through, and that could easily delay things, I think, by a year at least or two. And then you can't really develop like certain worlds until like all that is done, right? You can't build a world just for legal to be like, actually we can't do all that. So they probably had to wait for all that. So just teams at Square Enix were working on other games like 7, and then now once all that was settled, you probably had teams move back in, and they've been in full development probably for like the last 2 years or so.
Oh yeah,
that's my guess.
That makes sense to me. I mean, Kingdom Hearts has always been plagued a little bit by Nomura's neurotic desire to keep his lore consistent. But with all of that having wrapped up with 3, it is nice, even though it seems he's still pulling from stuff from beforehand, that he's at the very least inspired to move forward and start something new. So I think that's probably not as much of an issue. Because if I remember correctly, like a good chunk of the times 3 was delayed was due to rewrites. It wasn't even coding problems. Like the game ran fine. He was just like, no, it's not good enough yet. And so then he would like, I remember hearing stories that like they redid the final boss encounter like 4 times. He would just rewrite it. They'd do it all the way out to completion, and then he'd go, no, it's not working. And then they'd redo the whole thing. And that's that Disney money. That's the only way you can have that much money to do something like that. But it appears he's very confident, and I guess where he wants to take it. I can talk a little more about like lore stuff with it, but I'll talk in general first about what I'm hoping to see from it and what they've talked about gameplay wise, because story is always complicated with KH. Obviously, this is the most gameplay we've ever seen, even compared to the Nintendo Direct trailer. We didn't get very much, and the original one, it's like 10 seconds of gameplay, if that. But now we have a lot. They showed a good amount in the Disney trailer, along with more lore stuff and everything. I particularly like the disparagement between Quadratum, aka Japan, and how like we talked a little bit about this in pre-stream chat actually, but how just lifelike and gray Quadratum looks, compared to then when they throw Sora into Coco, which is the only Disney World they've shown, and how vibrant and colorful it is, and how different it looks from Quadratum. I like that. I think some of the best levels in the other games are distinctly like separated from the normal art style of the game, a la like Nightmare Before Christmas or Pirates of the Caribbean. Those are some of my favorites, and that's because they distinctly change the art style when you go to those worlds. I'd like to see him doing that more, and it seems he is. I think Sora in the Day of the Dead paint looks really good. I just want more of that. That's the best worlds, is when they do stuff like that, versus it's like they kind of just roll up in the earlier games. But also there's a charm to Nomura shoving his OC into like Pinocchio. I won't lie, it is funny. But gameplay wise, it seems they revamped the limit system, which makes me very happy. For the uninitiated, I spoke to Mark about this, but for Glenn and for the audience, one of the best appeals of Kingdom Hearts 2 is the limit system, because when you use a limit break, it has like tiers to it. So like, let's say you're fighting with, this is so funny to say, but you're fighting with like Aladdin, right? And you use his tag limit break. He'll like chase you around, and it's a unique like gameplay mechanic that's just to him. And if you deal enough damage, he'll tier up to do another move. And then if you do enough, you get like a giant AoE like bomb attack. You know what I'm saying? And that changes per character. Sometimes it's a like laser beam. Sometimes it's not. That is very fun. And they do a good job in 2 of making it not interrupt combat, because Kingdom Hearts is known for its fast-paced aerial combat. And my biggest gripe with 3 was they replaced all of those tag limits and stuff with like Disney Ride moves that are essentially just glorified AoEs that just do a shit ton of damage. And I just don't like that they stop combat and they're this big spectacle thing. I just don't think that's cool. I never have. I think as much as they're visually appealing, I think it detracts from the flow of fighting. And seeing Sora doing the one limit thing they showed off was that chain move he does, where he's like throwing chains out of the Keyblade and they're like swirling around, and then he surfs on those chains, and then once he's built up enough chains, he like locks them together and zips between them all and does like a ton of damage. And I was like, that seems cool. That seems like a nice innovation of making it not just, hey, I'm tag teaming with whoever's with me, but also, you know, changing the environment, which was one of the fun parts of what 3 was trying to do. So that seems pretty good. I hope it's polished. I don't want it to be jank, but that's yet to be seen. Other than that,
interesting.
I don't think we saw much new gameplay. He's swinging the Keyblade. That's all you really need. They brought back action commands. That made me really happy. They brought back action commands from 2.
And you can also play as
Oh yes, I actually forgot about that. Actually being able to play as Mickey, Donald, and Goofy, and most likely probably Riku and other characters. I would imagine it's not going to be limited to just them. Actually being able to switch between different characters, which I hope actually is possible maybe in the Disney worlds a little bit if you have Donald and Goofy with you. Like, I like the idea of swapping between characters to perform like combos, similar to how, I don't know if any of you guys ever played like the Tails games, but you can swap between characters and then use combos together. So like you juggle and everything, and yeah, it's pretty crazy. I would love to see them do that in Kingdom Hearts. That would be really cool.
Because I always assumed, I actually didn't know until you were replaying Kingdom Hearts 1 how prominent Donald and Goofy were. In your party. But it seems like you don't really, like, you can edit some of the stuff, like their moves, but you don't actually directly control them. They kind of just stick around you and help you out or just die. But yeah, I didn't realize this would be a new change, being able to directly control them. So that's interesting to hear.
Yeah, because that's one of my biggest gripes with original Kingdom Hearts 1 is that Donald is useless. His AI is so bad, and he never heals you, bro. Like, or he's just dead. He has such little HP that like you're like 3 seconds into the boss fight, and you look over and he's knocked out, dead. And you're like, well, I guess I'm just down a party member for this whole fight. Cool. Especially on critical mode in some of the later games, he survives. Like, he gets comboed once by the boss, and it's like,
oh,
bye, Donald. I'll see you after the fight, bro. Yeah, I am excited for the multiple characters to play. I don't know how far they're going to take that, if it's just because it appears they're going to do a split campaign. It appears Donald and Goofy are looking for Sora, and Sora is on his own.
Oh, shit.
And I don't know if they're going to do a thing where like they meet up at the halfway point, or they meet up at the end of the game, or maybe it's just an intro thing, similar to how they have the intro with Roxas in 2, where it's like the opening 5 hours is not how the rest of the game is. But that would also mean most of what they've shown us would have to be from the first like few hours instead. So I don't know. I really don't know. But I'm excited. That's what I can say. I haven't been excited for a Kingdom Hearts property in a while. There was the canceled mobile game. There was the released and then delisted mobile game. There was a lot of stuff that he was working on that never made it, which appears to be leaning into the plot a little bit, which I'm interested in, and how he's including a lot of canceled stuff in the game. And I'm trying to think if I don't want to spoil any of Kingdom Hearts 3 or where it may go, but I'm very interested to see why he's including so much unreleased content and or canceled content in 4 that's either from other games he's made or from completely different things he hasn't touched on, like Versus 13 stuff being in the game, and that game never came out. Like, it was completely canned, and he's just putting stuff in there. I don't know if that's going to be just, I want to use these assets, I made them and I'm sad, or he's actually going to like put it in as part of the plot.
That would be interesting, because what was that? I don't know if it was 13 or 15 that there were some of those like guards that used
15.
the same armor. That was 15, so yeah, that's a different game, and they were the guards wearing the same armor apparently. And it's like, yeah, is that intentional, or, are we going to see more collabs in that space?
Can't cue the Yoshi P meme of him saying this is definitely something Tetsuya Nomura worked on.
Right. So what? I mean, I guess what are some of those collabs, whether it's with Square Enix or Disney, that you would particularly like to see? And I can throw that to Glenn as well.
That's a good question. I'd love to throw it to the group actually as well. If you want to say something too, Mark. Okay. Obviously, I want Star Wars. I feel like Star Wars is a soft confirm at this point. That looks very much, the original trailer very much has an ATST foot. In the trailer, I feel like
you sent me that. Yeah.
I feel like that's definitely soft confirmed at this point. He has not said it, but he did say at the Disney panel. He said, "I got to do something I wanted to do for 3, and we couldn't do it, and now we can." And I'm very excited, and I hope you stay tuned. I want it to be something very surprising. That's what he said. So I think that's him talking about Star Wars, but I don't know.
I think, and this is coming from someone who has no idea, but I think because of the snippet you showed me of the, what's that forest called?
Endor.
And then you showed the comparison. I'm like, that's obviously the same thing. And don't accidentally leave the foot of the AT or whatever in there either.
Yeah, guys, so we forgot to cut the Star Wars reference.
So the thing is, like, okay, he said, I want a surprise, right? But then I feel like Star Wars is not a surprise because it's like all but confirmed without saying it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I feel like the surprise is actually going to be Marvel.
That would be cool.
Ooh.
But yeah, I don't know how complicated the licensing is that with regards to Disney technically.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'm not well versed in that.
Yeah, but I think if there's a surprise, I mean, maybe it is Star Wars, and they're still hinting at it, but I feel like maybe there's still one more thing we haven't seen, and maybe it's not Marvel, but I think there's still collabs that are yet to be seen that will be surprising and probably exciting for a lot of people.
The meme one going around the Kingdom Hearts community right now is that it, like you said, Star Wars is soft confirmed, so that's not what he's talking about. My favorite one I've seen is that it's Cars.
Yo, Mater.
Dude, and it's like Sora is a car.
Oh, that makes sense. I've been seeing those memes of him in the car, and I didn't make the connection to think that's. I just thought they just wanted to make Sora a car, and I completely forgot that Cars is like a Disney thing, and that's what they were.
No,
that would be funny
because that's been the joke going around the community. Is like Nomura says, "Oh, I have a very special world in 4. I hope you guys will really stay excited for it." Everybody's like, "It's Star Wars." No, it's Marvel. Nomura in his office. I hope they're excited for Cars.
Well, that would be kind of cool because then you can turn part of the game into like a racing or a driving sequence essentially.
Fast and Furious section,
that or like a Horizon. No, what is it? Are those games called Horizon? The racing one.
Forza Horizon.
No, Forza Horizon. Yeah, or like even like a Mario Kart type thing.
Yes.
I think that would be funny.
Oh my gosh! But yeah,
I didn't even think about that.
I've been thinking for days about what worlds I would want, because it's been a real argument of, like, there's certain ones that are staples, like they've been in every single KH game. So like Olympus has been in every Kingdom Hearts game, because he always holds a tournament, and so there's always the Olympus tournament is in like all of them, I think, except maybe 3. 3 has like an actual true like Hercules level. I feel like that was almost a shoe-in. I would love to see him bring some other ones back that are fun, like Tron, because he did Tron Legacy and Tron like original, so I wouldn't be surprised if he wants to do Tron Ares, but I feel like that's too recent, so I don't know if he'd do Tron again. I feel like there's some that are like guaranteed, like Zootopia, like that hasn't been confirmed, but I guarantee that's happening. Like that was so big for Disney, they're definitely gonna do that. Coco obviously is confirmed,
right?
Yeah, and then like Mark said, maybe Marvel. I don't even know what they do for Marvel.
For Disney, actually, let me just confirm again. But yeah, I thought Inside Out would be interesting.
Oh, that's a good one too. Yeah.
Inside Out.
That is Disney, right?
Yeah.
So?
Okay.
I think you could do
or Pixar. Yeah, Disney. It is Disney. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was saying the other day, Soul, because they're already showing like themes of like death and resurrection and stuff like that with Sora. I don't want to give away spoilers for free, but perhaps he is in a state of being separated from the gang for lore reasons. That's all I'll say. And he may need to return from where he's been sent to, which is Quadratum, the Japan-looking place.
Interesting.
I've heard rumors that that's going to be a hub world, which I kind of like the idea of. That you are in Quadratum and then you leave Quadratum to go to these different worlds. And there's lore reasons to believe that's accurate, but I don't really know.
I feel like Final Fantasy VII, almost feel like that it would be weird for that not to be in it, right?
Yeah, because 3 got
it's a repeat. Seven's been since 1, as I've seen you play it, and especially so. You have the third part of the remake coming out in 2027, and this game is coming out in 2027. So, they can do that, bring back 7, but now it's explicitly referring to the remakes for whatever lore stuff might be. I have no idea how they're going to connect that with the remake, and then also their previous instances of already being in Kingdom Hearts.
He just changes their designs. He did that in 2. Like in Kingdom Hearts 1, they look like their FF7 versions, like the art. And then in 2, they all look like they're from Advent Children. And there was no explanation. They just changed fits. So it wouldn't surprise me if they all look like the remake versions of themselves now.
Yeah.
That would not surprise me. He did not include any Final Fantasy characters in 3, and that was one of the biggest criticisms of it. But that's also because I think he was so concerned with wrapping up the story, which is also I want him to... This is going to sound so bad, but I'm going to stand on business here. Nomura has a problem where he tries really, really hard to explain everything. Like, why did this character do this? What does this mean? I don't understand. Okay, here's like a 20-minute lore dump across the level of like why this happened, right? I am of the opinion that Kingdom Hearts is at its best as it was in 2, which is this part of the lore doesn't make sense to me. Like, when they introduced the nobodies, right? And it's like, if someone turns into a Heartless, what happens to their body when the soul leaves it? Does it live on, right? And he never really explains it in 2. He's kind of just like, it is. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
Yeah. And I think that the game's at its best when it has that mystery. Kingdom Hearts is really good at having like weird stuff that happens, and I don't think he needs to explain it. I don't. And I hate this idea that he feels that he has to like interlink all of his lore perfectly. It's fine. The mystery is interesting. It's one of the best parts of those games is that there is this like insane, like, why do the Heartless look this way? Why are they like amalgamations or like demons? You don't need to explain it. You don't. Like, it's interesting to just have the little Ansem reports like in the original game that give you little bits and hints, and then you just figure it out from there. I don't think you need to be like, time to wrap up this plot line. Let me explain everything. And it's like, no, don't. Keep the mystery. I don't need to know perfectly everything.
Yeah.
You know what I would like to see? I don't think this will happen, but I think it would be pretty cool. Given that I only know Final Fantasy, and even that I don't know many of them. But imagine like a sequence. Because I've noticed this too. Like, they've done it in 1 where, okay, you have 7, but you're mixing in characters from... Was it 6?
Yeah,
that's not a 6-7 joke. I'm
genuinely 8. Yeah, they put characters from 8.
It was what was his name?
Squall. He's called Squall in 8, but Leon. Yeah. They call him Leon.
But you had Squall and like 7 characters at the same time, right? Mm-hmm. So he wasn't shy about just having 7. So I'm like, well, what if you brought in? Okay, so Cloud's back, but then you also see Clive from 16.
I'd
and
like
maybe
that.
even Noctis from 15.
Ooh.
And then the Warrior of Light from 14. And you have like but then imagine this, you have like a really cool like fight sequence, and they're all lined up, and Sora's there, and everyone has a voice line except for the Warrior of Light, because he doesn't talk. So
okay. I don't want to like, I think that could happen, but I also want to say this already happens in 2. There is a scene where they all fight together in 2. Which is
so do it again.
They should do it again because it's one of the best parts in 2.
But they should do it again with the more modern 14, 15, and 16, and 7, because that's technically.
And then while they're all lined up, Sora gets a little blip from his earpiece, and it's Sam Wilson's Captain America on your left. As he comes through the Doctor Strange portal, everybody else enters, swinging into action.
Because that's one of... Okay, mild spoilers.
And that's the Marvel reveal.
Dude, that would be hype. I actually wouldn't even hate that. I would be like, you know what? Fuck it. Just go crazy. Just let it rip, dude. Who cares?
That's what it should be.
On your left.
On your left. On your left, Sora. What? On your left. Yeah, that's one of the best levels in 2. It's so funny because 2 has this thing where it'll give you like the level name when you start. It says it in like the top corner, and
right.
And it's so funny because a lot of the time, especially in video games, like a level has like a big name to it, but then like you don't really do what they're like doing in the lore. Like, oh, fight off these waves of enemies, and it's like there's thousands of them, and you don't really fight thousands of anything. The level where you tag up with all the FF characters is called the Battle of the 10,000 Heartless, and it really makes you kill 10,000 of them. Oh. And you go through this like chasm, and like you go through like you tag up with the different characters and then go to a different one, and you kill like literally 10,000 of them. I think it like has a counter at the start of the level, and it's like we're gonna make you kill all of them. Like
so they make you go to war and
dude, that sequence is it's crazy. You're like with Cloud, and he's like swinging the Buster Sword through like crowds of them. It's nuts. And obviously, if they had the procedural generation to do that on the PS2, bro, let it rip. I want to fight like like Dynasty Warriors level army of enemies with like FF characters. Let us just mow them down, dude. Like, please, it would be so sick. Yeah, there's so much I want him to do.
You know, I am wondering, maybe 14 might be involved because they did bring, for context, with the recent in Final Fantasy 14, they had the latest Ultimate, which was bringing back Kefka, and it's just Kefka, and they had Nomura design like the final phase of Kefka, so there was an original design. But I wonder, is that the only thing Yoshi P and Nomura talked about?
Probably not. And Nomura's coming back for the FF7 collab too,
right?
With 14, so I would not be surprised if there was not an equivalent exchange where Nomura was like,
"Yeah, that's crazy. Let me
get something for Kingdom Hearts."
All this collab, surely, yeah. They're probably just not talking about Kingdom Hearts though, just purely FF stuff. Yeah.
Before I wrap up the Kingdom Hearts segment, because I don't want to turn this podcast into me ranting about how excited I am, I will say, lore-wise, I like where he's taking it because I think he's going back to basics. I will not spoil anything, but I'll say this. I explained this to Mark and Marco, so Glenn now gets this explanation and the chat. But at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, we'll say Sora does something really drastic, right? And it's a big moment. It's a great moment. It's really cool. But by doing this, there's consequences, right? Like you cast a big spell. That's what I'll call it. It's not really, but like you cast a really powerful spell, right? There are repercussions to doing something like that. He chooses to do that anyway. And I will say, this is a hard question to answer, but I'm going to say it anyway for the chat. If you were living in real life and you were to say something was in a state of being unreal or going into unreality, you would say it's fictitious. It's fiction. It's not real, right? It's a story. Perhaps Nomura asked the question at the end of 3 and its DLC. If you were to fall in a state of unreality from fiction, does that mean you would end up in real life? If fiction is your reality, then being not real would mean being real, essentially. And that's why I think he's in like Japan. Essentially, he's in Quadratum, the unreal world. That's how they define it. I don't think that's a spoiler in saying that. It's they say it in the trailer. This is Quadratum. It's essentially like this place that never was, and it looks like real life. And it has all of these, IPs that were canceled or that he worked on he never did anything with. But I am of the opinion, I think where he's taking it is that real life is maybe where dreams go to get crushed. Like in real life, your big ideas and your dreams don't always make it. You know, they're unrealistic. And I think he's going to try and make this commentary of like keeping whimsy in your life and things like that. Similar to how Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 both touch on that, of like you can't let the darkness, whatever that really is, creep into your life and make you miserable. You know, you can choose to, you know, fill your heart with light, quote unquote, as he talks about in the games. I think he's going to lean into that more core idea again. And I think that's good, because when he started like moving away from that and trying to do the complicated like time travel lore shit, that's when he lost me. That's when I was like, you're doing too much. So we'll see if he goes back to basics. Fingers crossed. But I'll leave it there. I will not rant, other than unless you guys want to throw any last comments on Kingdom Hearts.
I want Sora to show up in Shibuya and looking at all the salarymen and then saying something like, "Oh my god, this world, there's so many heartless in it."
Ooh, that'd go hard.
That would go hard.
It's just like salaryman just commuting to work.
All these people are so heartless.
And it's just like your 40-year-old dad going to his
going to the store.
Right.
But no, I want to say I honestly just looking forward to Star Wars. I mean,
yeah,
I haven't played any of the Kingdom Hearts games, but maybe one day. Well, I played the beginning of 2, which I'm just learning now on the podcast is not how it is for the rest of the game.
Oh yeah,
so
sorry.
Maybe I should pick it back up.
2 is very much 2's opening is kind of like Metal Gear Solid 2's opening. It's not consistently that way throughout. It's like a setup.
Yeah, because I remember the ghost train of the beginning.
Oh yeah, because I forget. Did you finish that section? Like, did you even get to the point where you play as Sora?
No, definitely not. I never played as Sora.
Yeah.
So
I think
gonna have to go back to that one.
I would severely recommend, as much as it's like people are like, oh, 2's the best, just start with that. I do think it's probably better to just start with 1.
Really?
I'd say start. Actually, this is good advice for the podcast. Here's my opinion. I told Liz this the other day. Actually, we'll end the Kingdom Hearts segment on this. I would say, even though Kingdom Hearts 1 is very old, and the camera's not great, I think it's still a really good game, and I think your average person would have a lot of fun playing it. It's not the peak of the series, but it sets up everything really well. And I would say play 1, then play Chain of Memories, which is included in the collections. And if you hate the deck builder combat that they have for Chain of Memories, where it's like card-based combat, if you hate that, you really hate it, I am of the opinion, just look up a YouTube video to explain what happens. I don't think the lore is that crazy in Chain of Memories that you need to like completely play the game front to back. I do think it's good. It will improve your experience of 2. But I do think if you're like, I fucking hate the deck builder combat, either A, just look up the best deck and build it, and then you'll just destroy every boss in like 30 seconds, because you can build a really good deck like 2 hours into the game. Or I would say just look up a video that explains the like memory chain stuff that he gets into, and the idea of like what happens if somebody forgets who they are, and then play 2 and enjoy Peak. And if you think that was great, but I'm not that in, then just stop it too. Because I would.
That's it.
Yeah. My hope is that 4 is good enough that I can tell people it's worth playing the other ones. Because I'm of the opinion that 3 is a great game, but I don't know if it's truly worth the commitment for your average person if they're not like really enjoying the franchise. Like if you finish 2 and you're like, that was so great, I need more content that feels like this, then definitely play Birth by Sleep, play Dream Drop Distance, and play 3. They're great games. They're amazing. But they might feel like a letdown after 2.
Yeah.
Well, that was also like one of the last comments I was going to make with 4 is, you know, they also, with all these announcements, they put the game on sale on Steam, at least. I think it was like, or you said it was like the biggest sale they've ever had.
Yeah, it's the cheapest it's ever been.
I've definitely at least been seeing a lot of resurgence of people playing it who've never played it before, but they're like mildly intrigued. So they're like going back to old ones. But I think with 4, I feel like they would definitely make it so obviously, you know, your enjoyment is bettered if you have played the previous ones, but you can go in as your first one because it seems like it's going to be a big game for them. There are potentially really big collabs, which means like, someone who's into like Star Wars, for instance,
big money.
They're probably not going to play the first 3, but they really want to play 4 because there's Star Wars in it, right? So they're probably going to make it so it's like you might not get all the references, but you could just jump into 4 and play that game and, just have that experience.
Yeah.
I think they would probably do that. Whereas like, I think with some of the older Kingdom Hearts games, if you like jumped into 3 as your first game, that might not make sense. I'm assuming.
I think jumping into 3 before you play like 2 or 1 is one of the worst decisions you could make. That game is reliant on every other game, like the mobile game, the DS games, the PSP game. I think throwing someone into 3 is fucking terrible idea. Because the entire last third of the game is Nomura being like, you probably thought this wasn't canon, but it is. You probably thought this wasn't canon, but it is. Thought you'd never see them again, but here they are. And it's him doing that for like 15 hours of the game. And if you haven't played any of the others, it's going to mean nothing to you.
Yeah. So I think they'll definitely not do that with this one. It definitely seems like it'll be a big release.
I even think one of my favorite parts of 2, without spoiling parts of Kingdom Hearts 2, is that and it's connected to Chain of Memories, obviously, is Sora between 1 and 2 loses his memories. I don't think that's a huge spoiler to say when they have a game like Chain of Memories and that. He like forgets. And so a huge portion of 2 is him trying to remember. And I think that made 2 a great experience for people to go in blind, because if you don't know what's going on, well, congrats, Sora doesn't either, right? And he is trying to piece it together, and that makes him a great self-insert for the player. It appears they're doing the same thing again with 4, because like you see that thing of him seeing like visions of Donald and Goofy, and he faints and he doesn't understand. He's like, why do I see these 2 people when he's in Quadratum? And so I'm of the opinion he's going to do a memory loss plot line again. I think Nomura is really great at that. He did it in FF7. He did it in Kingdom Hearts 2. He does it in The World Ends With You. He's very good at writing that sort of thing. And I think it fits into Mark's point of they want new people to hop in. Well, congrats. Sora doesn't remember anything, so you don't have to know anything. It will all be re-explained. And in a much simpler format, most likely, so for new people to jump in.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that would be very, very good. He should do that.
Right.
Will he? He said he was going to wrap the franchise up in 3. He sure as hell didn't do that. So I don't trust a word that comes out of that man's mouth, but I am very excited. I mean, hey, I wore my Kingdom Hearts shirt today, so
there you go.
I would be lying if I said I wasn't excited.
Speaking of leaving things unspoiled, we got a lot of GTA 6 news this week.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. Where to even begin with something like that, man? Where to even begin?
We'll let you do that, Glenn, because you're our Rockstar King.
I think we got to start with before the leaks. Right? The exclusivity of it coming to Netflix, right?
Yes.
I think we dabbled a bit about it last week, but now people are speculating that online requires a Netflix subscription. I don't know if y'all saw that speculation on TikTok.
No. Yeah, not.
But
oh, no.
I personally don't think something like that is true.
No.
That would be crazy. Yeah.
If we just think about it realistically, GTA 5 doesn't require a Netflix subscription, and GTA 5 generated, unironically, billions of dollars for Rockstar.
Capital
on
B.
shark cards alone. Shark cards alone. Like when that expense report came out back in like prime GTA Online, and people saw that they made over like $10 billion from shark card sales alone, there's no chance they're giving that up for Netflix.
What is that for context if you haven't played GTA Online?
Oh, yeah, shark card is literally just in-game currency. It's like the same as saying Robux.
Oh, okay, so it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, shark cards is just like the equivalent of like a debit card in the game. Like a Visa gift card in the game.
Yeah, essentially.
Interesting.
Okay. And so it's like I don't think they would ever hide something like that away behind Netflix.
No.
Like we said last time, I think Netflix begged them to make it exclusive, and they were like, "Sure, give us millions of dollars and you get it 6 hours early." And they licked the souls of the Rockstar people that gave them such an offer. But yeah, so the leaks, right? My biggest thing with the leaks is people are treating him, and Willis, you might have some opinions on this, but they're treating him like a physical copy messiah, a prophet.
That's how he's pitching himself. Definitely.
Yes. He's this Robin Hood of steal from the rich, give to the poor. We want our physical copies, Rockstar. But no. I'm not giving him that.
No.
I'm not giving him that one. He's doing this for the gamers. he's standing up for us.
Absolutely.
From Rockstar is you could not have plastered that cryptocurrency advertisement
any bigger.
Yeah. Any bigger. It is right there. That is his purpose. That is his plan. That is his entire platform that he's doing this for. It's for that.
I agree.
And so, yeah, I think that's my piece, is that he's not a prophet. He's not a messiah. He showed us gameplay footage of stuff that we kind of expected was going to be in the game.
Yeah, that's fair to say without getting into
shittier and unfinished.
I agree.
It is.
I'll say two things first. One, I think people, obviously in his manifesto, he blames Rockstar and the industry. I personally, when it comes to the physical media stuff, I don't even blame Rockstar. I would blame their publisher. When it comes to something like that, they are a subsidiary. They do what their publisher says. They don't really get a say in if something is sold physically or not. They make the game. Their publisher would decide that with someone like Sony or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's an unfortunate thing. Secondly, with the leaker, one, he's uploading stuff in 1080p, and I refuse to believe that not in 1080p, and I refuse to believe that he's got any moral qualms. He's trying to make money. That's only been shown even more as of today, which is that he's now selling advertisement slots on the leaks. I don't know if you guys saw that before we got on here. He is going to allow for people to donate to have their brand names in the leaked videos, or he'll make them custom gameplay footage, because it seems he has the game, potentially. We don't actually know if that's true and it's not just edited, or if things are that way, but that's currently where it's sitting. It's obviously, I think, without getting into details, an unfinished build that he's playing in. I think that's easy to say. I don't think he has anything that's near completion. That's just my opinion. And other than that, I think it obviously sucks. I have a lot of sympathy for the devs. It must be very hard to work on something for this long, to have someone essentially steal your thunder. Especially considering I guarantee Rockstar devs are under a lot of crunch, probably. I imagine they're going to work on this game until right up to release. And it's only got to be defeating to then have it come out in an unfinished state. Obviously, the footage looks rough. It's desaturated. It's bad. I think that's important to think about, because when you look at what the product will be when it comes out, and I'm especially excited because they're going to actually show it next week. I assume it's going to be gameplay footage that they've done this big deal with Netflix. And if anybody's getting screwed, let's be honest, it's Netflix. I think Rockstar is going to be fine. Take-Two is going to be fine. They're going to still sell the game. If anything, it's Netflix. Their big reveal that they have exclusivity for is kind of fucked, because people have seen it now. But I think it's important to remember, there's people. Fuck the company. You don't have to care about a company, but there's, some guy who gave his life to get that fucking job at Rockstar and is working 12-hour days, who has now had his work shown incomplete. It would be like, us setting up for the podcast today and that being all we uploaded. It's very unfortunate. So I feel bad for the individual. Other than that, I don't think the leaks are going to hurt them. They're still going to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And this guy's just going to try and steal as much as he can before he gets caught. They submitted a federal subpoena today. That's a big deal. That means they want to take this to federal court, which means it's going to go from... I mean, when you take something like this to federal court, that you're now talking about lifetime sentences. There's a good chance they could pursue life.
The thing
life
I've heard is like they're not even based in the U.S. I heard that it's potentially someone in Europe. So I'm not
you'd have to get
sure
Interpol involved.
Right, the whole extraction. So, and people were speculating because there was like a 24-hour gap, like yesterday or the day before, where he wasn't posting, so they were thinking they got him, but then no, he just uploaded another leak.
He's just grinding the game. He's just playing.
It's honestly, I see. I think I have two thoughts on this. One is like this is like I remember when I first saw the leaks, like the first one that came out, and I didn't believe it because it's like we always see like these AI generated
the
like
GTA 5. Yeah.
So it's like, okay, this is probably not real, but then it's like Rockstar then started taking them down, and I'm like, why would you do that if it's fake?
Yeah,
and that's when
wouldn't.
It's like, oh my god, there was like an actual breach, and it's like this is not the first time it's happened, right? We've definitely seen leaks before, but this one seems particularly more serious, and like I guess. I don't know like why. Maybe it's like the nature of like whatever the leaker has, like the fact they seem to have like a playable build of it, as then I think they proved when they shot their name into like the side of a building. So this seems like it's a pretty big fuck up on somewhere that somehow someone got a hold of this and is now like slowly dripping video clips and such of it, and it seems like they're not going to stop.
No.
So I'm not sure what's going to be at the end of it. They'll probably find the person eventually, maybe not, I don't know, but then
it really depends.
It can really suck because they're going to release more and more, maybe even like story stuff. Maybe it seems like they haven't been doing that, but
no,
yeah, we don't know how far this is going to go, right? So it could be interesting. And the other thing, this is obviously not the case because I don't think any company would do it, but I remember when I think the director was talking about like how they're going to handle the marketing very differently for 5. I was like, okay, what if this was all like a big marketing ploy, and it's like, oh no, the game's getting leaked, and it's like, you know,
that would be pretty hype.
But like all these little clips we're getting is actually like them showing gameplay, but then you generate a lot of interest because it's like, oh, this is a leak, and it's like Rockstar scrambling to like, but then it's like, what if this was all coordinated? I don't think so, because I think as much as I would like to believe that, I feel like they probably wouldn't slap like a cryptocurrency on it, which is like real, because I checked it, and a company probably wouldn't do that. That's like legal issues, and you probably wouldn't do something that hurts your stock price either. Not that that's like the biggest deal in the world, but they did lose, or the shares have gone down since the leak, and they've lost some value in their stock, the Take-Two, since this has happened. So probably not a marketing ploy, but I don't know, maybe. It would definitely it would be crazy if we find out at the end of it, like maybe the Netflix reveal is like addressing like this, and then we just find out it was a big marketing stunt,
bro.
You know, that would be pretty hype, but I don't think so. This seems like it's an actual like real
it's
leak, which is unfortunate for them. Yeah, definitely
feel
something
for the
devs. You don't want that. You don't want to be dealing with that as you're working on like your biggest game.
I think the only way it becomes a true problem for Rockstar is if he finds a way to share the game. Like if he finds a way to truly share the dev build, that's bad for them, because then it's that will hurt sales. I think that's the only thing that would hurt sales. I think even story spoilers wouldn't affect it too much. I think that would take a dent of a little bit of it since it's a single player experience, but man.
I think it's less about the sales, because at the end of the day, no one wants to really play like a buggy, unfinished build, and I'm assuming this is probably buggy and unfinished, and it's not going to look great. But it will start to tarnish the general vibe and reputation of GTA 6.
Yes.
So you're going to go from a game that is like probably like a game of the year or maybe even game of the decade with how much hype is behind it. And when stuff like this happens, and then the Netflix stuff, and if there's some bullshit that Netflix announces, let's assume like, oh, you need a Netflix account to play GTA Online, then you might have an otherwise pretty good game, pretty solid game, but then you have all this like leak stuff, you have like the bullshit with the premium stuff, you then have the bullshit with Netflix, then it really tarnishes the game, and that could really hurt it.
I agree. I 100% agree.
I think like just with how big GTA 6 already was before we even knew anything about it. I mean, Rockstar had the biggest targets on their back ever. I just researched that GTA 5's entire map was leaked before it was announced, which I think it obviously isn't as bad as like gameplay, right?
Yeah.
But I think they've dealt with leaks in the past. I think they just have like I wouldn't be surprised if they have like an entire team trying to prevent that, just with how big it is. But I don't know how teams like that are. But I guess we'll have to see on the Netflix reveal how they handle this.
Yeah,
I'm very excited to see that.
Do you think they're probably like changing the programming to like address it? Maybe even not directly, but they'll like make references to it. Because I feel like if they just like, let's assume this is like a real leak and it's like a huge fuck up, and then they just do the like, I feel like they should like, I don't know, try to address it, or in the sense that like maybe even make light of it.
Yeah.
This is definitely something where if I was like between like the marketing department, I would definitely try to make something good out of like a really bad situation, right?
Oh, I would too.
At least, at the very least, it's like, there is a lot of attention to your game, and
definitely.
They're creative. They can probably come up with a way to like.
They did it in the last trailer.
Poke at it. Yeah, that's right. That's like stuff like that. You're right.
Fixing a leak.
Like, yeah, get back up there.
Get back up there, Jason. You got some more to fix, brother. I hate to say it.
It's funny.
Obviously, too, for the record, I didn't say it before we started this segment, but since we got comments in chat randomly from someone, and then I think they left, we will not talk about details because that's DMCA. We can get our video taken down for that. And also, I won't lean into the leaking. I won't spread anything. And I don't think any of us want to do that. So we're not going to directly talk about stuff that was in there that we maybe saw. Until after the Netflix reveal. After the Netflix reveal, I'm going to talk about everything. So next week, or even depending on when we do podcast next week, we'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do it again next Friday to be able to talk about it.
I did want to add that it was funny, at least on my algorithm, that right when they threatened to spoil, everybody is like turning against the leaker.
Yeah, they
right when
they immediately pulled that back.
Endings. Yeah, right.
Nobody wants to see that.
Endings. They were all like, "No, hey, cut that shit out." Like,
yeah, that's a good way to get people to hate that guy.
Yeah, exactly.
And it appears he's smarter than your average leaker. I remember this is not the first time, by the way, a big AAA game like this has been leaked. Famously, Half-Life 2 leaked about 2 months before it came out. But it was a very early build, like, still missing textures and stuff. And sometimes, people think like, man, this guy must have hacked Rockstar, got all this stuff. What could have possibly happened? For the Half-Life one, it was the younger brother of a playtester in Germany. He got on his brother's computer, put it on a USB to share it with his friends, and then they just started posting it online. And then they caught him by telling him, Valve was very smart about it. They said, man, you're so smart. This is so crazy that you did all this. You should come work for us. And they got him a plane ticket. And when he went to the airport, they had him arrested. It's like dumbass. I'm really curious to see if something similar like that happens again with this guy. Arrogance is usually the downfall of people.
No, probably not.
But he seems to be pretty smart. Yeah. This guy's not an idiot. Whoever this is.
And he definitely likes this like Robin Hood-esque personality, so I think he probably wants to threaten story stuff, I don't know what he wants from Rockstar exactly, because they're not going to.
He wants nothing. He wants money.
So then it's like if you want money and if you want people to donate to you, you have to make them happy. So I don't think it would be a really dick move if he did spoiler stuff, and no one would be happy about that.
I'm almost worried. Yeah, like I keep being very vigilant and like trying to like not look if I see stuff, because I don't want to see anything that I would feel sad that I missed out on.
Oh yeah, I don't care. I'll let you know if I see it.
yeah.
If I see it,
Mark
I'm like,
doesn't
guys,
care.
do not look at the latest one.
If you see an ending, Mark, don't be posting that shit.
Don't be posting that shit.
That pegging scene went crazy. You do not want to. That will ruin this.
Whoa!
Do not click on the pegging ending.
Yeah, that really gives away a lot of the story. You don't want to see that.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. I'm almost excited more just about everything it's riled up around it all. Especially the big reveal of him having like a build, essentially.
That is it, yeah.
That's probably the craziest thing. I assumed this was just footage, like test footage.
Yeah.
I feel like, and I know Rockstar was intentionally not showing stuff, and they've been very like closed door, and we're probably not. I mean, even now, like months before the release, we have very little to see other than like some screenshots recently and a couple videos, and presumably with Netflix we'll get more of the gameplay. So I feel like a lot of people have just been getting impatient, and that's why I think this particular leak, with how extensive it is, because it seems like he has a build, so he can just show whatever he wants. I'm assuming it's a guy. I don't know why, but
that's fair.
Yeah. Anyway, it's I feel like they just wanted something, and that's why there's so much interest in this leak. And it doesn't matter to most consumers that it's like unfinished, but it's like finally you like start to see, like, I mean, they're asking for pre-orders, and we still don't know what the game's even going to look like. So I think a lot of people have a lot of pent up, maybe a little too much, right? Rockstar, I think they held back too much, and people are just very pent up, and they just need to see something. They want to be excited, but it's hard to be excited when you don't know
what you're excited about. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's why, and probably the leaker deliberately, or I mean, it could have just been by chance, but I feel like maybe raining on Netflix's parade is also not a coincidence on their timing as well.
Yeah.
He probably they probably already had the build, and then they saw the stuff about Netflix and with their manifesto and being frustrated with the state of the gaming industry, probably started doing this and to make money.
Yeah,
got to get that cash.
Hey, you're not risking all this for nothing. Pay up.
Facts.
Buy my crypto coin, bro.
Wallet and bio. Pay up. Pay up.
Coffee coin. We're starting coffee coin. Trademark.
Yeah, don't steal that shit. Yeah, no, I think after the Netflix thing, his leverage is gonna dwindle though.
Oh, significantly. That's when I worry we're gonna actually start to see story spoilers. Like he's gonna start. Exactly. I worry he's gonna stop getting as much attention as he wants, and because he seems to kind of be reveling in this mystique that he has.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
and I think that when he stops getting the attention, much like a annoying child, he's going to try and find new ways to get attention, and that's probably when he'll start wanting to do other stuff. Hopefully by then, he'll stop, or somebody will keep him from doing it. But I'd say don't pay him anything. I'd like to formally say that on the podcast. Don't give money to this guy. Don't give money to anybody. Do not download builds of the game, because even if you're excited, they're definitely viruses. Not a doubt in my mind you're getting a virus. And even if it is a build of the game that runs, there's a virus in it. Guaranteed. Even if it runs and you're like, yay, GTA on my PC. Whoa, my God. Like, your bank account's gone. Like, it's... I don't know what to say.
Newsflash, kids, if you see an IO file on fucking website, it's not GTA 6.
Nope.
You don't get that early like that.
Nope.
So, yeah. I think when he made that little Twinkle Twinkle Little Star,
he's the Riddler.
I knew we were dealing with a goofball, bro.
That was really weird.
He needed this attention so bad. He's like, bro, thank you. Basking in it.
It is pretty cringe. I'm not gonna lie.
It was pretty cringe. I was like, oh, he thinks he's like a god here. He's
Yeah.
Or you reveal GTA 6.
And I also
Showed
think
us that they're shooting in cars.
Yeah. Oh, can you believe it? I also think too a good point to end on, because we got a direct comment about this earlier too. It's important to remember that while there is a lot of hype around GTA, and some of that may be dwindled a bit by the fact that people have seen stuff early, GTA 6 is still a video game. This is a video game that is designed to be played within the Grand Theft Auto franchise. So if you find yourself looking at a leak and going, why does this look like a game? That's because it is. If you're expecting probably a real life simulator, we've said this many times on the podcast, pre-leak, I would not expect something like that. It might have levels of realism to it or new mechanics to make you more immersed. But I think, to quote Gabe Newell, who obviously we're a Valve-centric podcast, we like Valve stuff, realism does not equal fun. People say all the time in games, this is unrealistic, but in real life, I have to make a grocery list, and I don't find that very fun. It's important to remember that you can do things that make realism a form of immersion, like making things seem more detailed or things like that. But at the end of the day, it has to be fun. It has to stick to the core values of what Grand Theft Auto is, which is a very well-written sandbox game, usually about criminals. They can obviously change it up with 6, but I guarantee you're going to be doing heists and lots of other things, and they can add polish to that to make it immersive. But at some point, making sure you can see every twinkle in Lucia's eye and every pore on her skin doesn't make the game fun.
I need that.
Yeah, that shit too.
Yeah. So I would like to say that we're already seeing what I talked about of tempered expectations. Don't expect it to look the same as when you look out your window. And I'll leave it at that, unless y'all want to add something else. But I think that's important to say.
I don't think so. I mean, it is a game, and I give my opinions about people that just watch games all the time.
Yeah.
Like, hey, first thing I'm doing when I get that game is shooting my name into a wall.
Yeah.
Because I can do that. And I'll do it. I'll do it legally.
Yeah, I'll do it legally on a non-illegal copy. Thank you, Rockstar. Sponsor us. Leave it at that.
Well, the one thing I was going to say is, like, off of your point, Willis, is aside from all the leaks, which is obviously not great from their point of view, unless if it is a marketing stunt, which is still questionable. I think the biggest risk with GTA is that it is becoming this thing with how much hype is behind it. And I've always had this opinion: when things become overhyped, it's
I agree.
Very easy to be then disappointed, even though it's like still a 9 out of 10. But when you've been expecting a 10 out of 10 and everyone's been expecting a 10 out of 10 and you get a 9 out of 10, it starts to feel like a 6 out of 10, So that is definitely, and I'm sure Rockstar feels the pressure that people are expecting a lot, and some people maybe too much, and there definitely be a lot of disappointment, I feel, unless if they knock it out of the park. But I would expect that, not I don't know. We'll see.
No, I agree. I think I love Cyberpunk. I've talked about Cyberpunk on this podcast multiple times. That game obviously had a bad launch. It had problems. It was unfinished when it launched, and my opinions on Cyberpunk now in a polished, finished state is very different than something that was unfinished and clearly needed more time. Now, granted, that wasn't leaked. It released that way. But I don't think that's that bad of a comparison. That game was very overhyped, and for what it was amazing. I would like to add, like, everybody talks about Cyberpunk, like, in a lot of ways, it does change the FPS RPG genre. There's a lot of stuff it did that other games have copied since. I just think there's a level of realism that people expect that's insane. It doesn't make a fun game, After your 10th hour of trying every door in Night City, it wouldn't be so much fun anymore. And
but that was really rough. Like, I'm not sure if there's that's been like and this definitely won't be GTA. Obviously, it'll be more polished, but yeah, that was definitely a good example of a game that had that level of expectation, and it should have definitely been better. It was a mess, but then I think they've also done a really good job of like sort of having a bit of a redemption arc with the patches they've done and the DLC and now the show. So and there's probably a lot of people that don't really even know that it started off with a colossal launch. But yeah, the risk with GTA is it being like just kind of good. Whereas Cyberpunk was an absolute disaster. But I feel like if GTA is even just kind of good, that could be an L. You know, there's so much on this game that it has to be like near perfect. And I don't know.
I have a lot of sympathy for the devs.
If it's not near perfect, you know the Steam reviews what they're going to be like. It's going to be mixed. It's going to be like the first 9 out of 10 mixed game. That's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah, I could definitely agree with that. Going to the Cyberpunk, like they went from Witcher to that, right?
Yeah,
which
that's a good point.
Personally, that is a huge leap.
It is. It's a huge leap.
Huge leap. So. Just going on that point, like I think you're right, Mark, because we're going to GTA to GTA. Like they better have some grasp on what they're doing. And based on like what we saw, they do. It's GTA. It's GTA. You get a car and you get a gun and you have fun in GTA.
I want it to be. I don't want it to not be GTA. That's what I think's ridiculous, is this idea that it should... Man, it looks too much like, again, without getting into details, obviously, it looks too much like GTA. It should.
Yeah.
It should be an evolution of what was there.
Yeah. So I'm still very hype.
Me too.
I don't see this guy as a god, and I'm not going to cancel my pre-order. And so
it is what it is.
A leak is a leak. We've seen it before.
I don't know about you guys, but I'll be playing it on my PC very soon. So, you know,
early impressions.
It looks like you guys are gonna have to wait while I get to dive in.
Dude, sub to our Patreon, exclusive gameplay.
.io file is extremely unzipped.
Just run it on a virtual machine, bro. It's totally safe. Bro.
Exactly.
So to our Patreon, exclusive playthrough from
exclusive GTA 6.
The man, the myth, the legend, Mark.
Straight to your C drive file.
Right.
It's I don't know. The hype is hype. There's nothing you do. And also these days, games suffer too quickly, I think. Like there is no breath. There is no like good faith. And I'm using this kind of as a transition, but I do want to talk about 2XKO being shut down by Riot Games. It will be discontinuing service in December. I even got an email today saying I will be refunded for my in-game cosmetics.
So this one's crazy because, I mean, maybe it's to be expected, but like they spent a lot of time on making this game.
It's been in live service for less than a year.
Yeah, and it came out like a couple months ago. And I'm not much of a fighting game guy, so I don't really know sort of like where things are relative, but. Yeah, after it came out, I kind of haven't heard of it at all. No one was really talking about it. Now, I don't know if that means people weren't playing, because maybe people were. But yeah, this seemed like it came out of kind of nowhere. So to me, it's like I wonder why. You know, you spend all this time building a game and you don't even give it a chance, especially for like Riot. Like you don't like.
They wanted league numbers. I think that's what it is.
Well. But no.
Yeah, I think it's I am of the opinion, and then I didn't want to cut off your point, so I'm sorry if I did that. But
no. Yeah.
Fighting games have always been a community that thrives very well in tournaments, but they're never something that has a largely active player base. A lot of the time they're played through locals, and they don't need huge player bases to be good. Like, to have a one-on-one match with someone, you don't need to have a giant player pool like you do for something like League or even Valorant. And I think the problem is that Riot has gotten used to... They are suffering from success. Valorant was a big slam dunk. I think part of that was because of COVID, if I'm honest. That game coming out during COVID probably had a big impact on that because it has since fallen off significantly. even Counter-Strike isn't even as big as it once was. I think people are looking for new, innovative, competitive experiences, and I think 2XKO was just too niche. Doing a tag fighter, which is a challenging. You're asking League players who already struggled to make the jump from a MOBA to a FPS with Valorant, and a lot of them fell off because of that, to now learn to pick up a controller, because let's be honest, playing on your keyboard is not good. And not only learn combos for a character and learn punishment and all these other mechanics that are required for a fighting game, but you're asking them to learn 2 characters so that you can tag back and forth. That's a big ask, I think, of a lot of people. And I also think the cosmetics were too expensive. They're more expensive than Valorant was. It was like $130 for the Arcane bundle. That's ridiculous. And I think they've gotten used to getting away with League of Legends numbers. I think they expected it to make $1 billion and it didn't. So they just decided, well, why am I giving any money to a project when I can just pump this into League?
So, this is what I think, and it's like sort of related to what you said, right? But maybe with a bit more nuances, because it's like I struggle for them to have expected like a game like this to be like a Valorant or a League, because like you said, fighting games they're not massive million people play game type of thing. This is like a very community-based or tournament-based game, and like what I struggle to see this is as like a financial thing, because even if 2KXO is losing money, there's still value in having like your foot in the door in the fighting community, right? Or having a game like this, or even like you have these obviously smaller projects. Like this is clearly like probably doesn't require, I mean, I'm assuming, but I don't think something like this requires nearly even a fraction of the development that goes into Valorant or League. So, it's something you can probably support with a, fairly sustainable team and still probably even make money off. So I feel like what happened, because it seems like they were developing this for many years, is that at one point you had some Riot management that were like branching into like a lot of different games, right? Because they also had other games that these smaller games that they were working on. So they've clearly been like trying out a lot of different things, smaller things, supported by the money makers of League and Valorant. And what, if I had to guess, maybe like over the course of the last 6 or 7 years, is that management changed, and in that you went from one that wanted to support like these smaller endeavors to one that were like, actually, we just want to do League and Valorant. And the reason why I also bring that up is during that time, as you guys might know, Riot has been also working on an MMO.
Yes.
And it hasn't been canceled, but I think they've completely like just gone back to the drawing board with it.
Yes.
The lead developer for that, which was a former one of the WoW lead developers, Ghost Crawler, he was big on the project, and then he left, and then he started his own studio, and that studio shut down.
Classic,
but, he
average
was involved,
modern gaming.
Yeah, he was involved in that very early on, and then he left, and it seems like that project had to be completely scrapped. So the dreams of a Riot MMO just got another 10 years added to it. But yeah, it seems to me like, I don't know. I don't really like that. I would prefer the previous management, where you have like your money printers and you use that to like just do a lot of experimental things, and not like cancel at the moment they don't bring in link numbers, because that should have never been the expectation. Like it should be
ridiculous that they had that expectation. Yeah.
Right. It's like we have so much talent at Riot and we want to like explore different things, and it's like a lot of these will lose money, but that's okay, because we're like trying different things, we're experimenting, we're keeping things fresh.
Yeah.
And maybe one of them might be a banger and make a good amount of money, but then it's like, I don't know, maybe the new management, and I have no idea if there's new management or not, but I'm just assuming that something in their strategy has changed, where they just want to focus on the tried and true stuff. But then to me, that's like boring. Like we're gonna play League and Valorant forever. Is that like what the company is gonna be? And it's
I think it is the way it's going.
There's League Classic, there's League Classic, which I know people have been enjoying, but I'm like, that doesn't really scream inspiring from a game. It's like you hit the lottery once and it's like, okay, that's it. We're never playing again. It's like, no, you should be constantly doing new things. It's like it's good that you made a game that's so popular. Now use some of that to like keep innovating, keep trying stuff, and not shut it down without giving it a chance.
Yeah, I think they make hand over fist money with League, and Valorant's pretty successful too. But I mean, Valorant's dwindled far down from what it once was, and right. I mean, League's monetization has only gotten, to be blunt, as someone who even plays League, more predatory. I mean, it used to be a lot with the skins being expensive and everything, but now limited time gacha events for exclusive skins that, if you want them, it's a couple $100 to roll for. I mean, that's a joke. To guarantee a drop, pay $300 for a skin, and they make a fuck ton of money, hand over fist, doing that. Right. And they probably wanted that. Whoever's at the top doesn't give a shit about the games. They give a shit about making sure Riot makes that money. And so they just decide to give up. And I think I wouldn't be surprised if for a while, if that is the mindset Riot's going to have, that Valorant maybe even eventually suffers and something happens to it. Or we hear that the MMO gets canceled. Or we even hear that League is like leaning more into monetization. I think they have just decided to just go any avenue to make money, right? And that's the same thing. Like, I think Classic is a good example of that, unfortunately, where it's like, now that's another game mode, another set of people you're going to bring into the community, and you're going to monetize that separately of Standard League, as it already is, right? Classic skins are different than regular League.
Yeah, because then it's like, okay, you're charging me like exclusive Classic skins, but it's just like giving your track record, like the minute that people stop playing Classic because, they've got their share of nostalgia and people stop playing it. It's like, okay, we're shutting it down now. It's like, well,
it's ridiculous.
And it's like I feel like, we've talked about this a lot on the podcast, but it's just indicative of the general gaming landscape where it's like if you don't pull a lottery, like the winning lottery ticket on your first game, and you like shut everything down, and you have to like make a new studio and try again. It's like all these games like High Guard and such, or Concord, it's like they did not make billions of dollars in the first 2 weeks. So, okay, shut it down, cut our losses and try again. It's like,
that is what's happening here, I think.
And, it's like, I don't think it's probably not even the fault of any particular like group, whether it's like the finance or the developers or the publishers, but I think there's something broken in like the gaming industry economy where everyone has like sort of determined like this is the only way we can do things now. And then to me, and even indie games, I think is starting to creep into this a little bit, where that's why you see a lot of these friend slop or friend gem games, because it's relatively low investment for potentially big payoff, and people have noticed that with just every month there's a new friend slop game coming out. So they're like, okay, well, you gotta be on this trend now and make a lot of money. And at least those you don't really need to shut down, because it's like, well, you build it and it's there and people play and people leave. So it's more of a natural life cycle. But when you have established bigger companies or bigger publishers behind these things, it's a bit more devastating when they spend a lot of time making a game and then canceling it after 2 weeks because it did not generate billions immediately.
It's tragic. And I think weirdly, I hope that we've started to see a move towards a lot of love for single player titles again. As much as multiplayer titles make a lot of money, I have noticed a slow shift back towards that, with people loving like Resident Evil, like those games doing really well compared to like franchise high sales. FF7, doing better than it has in the past now that it's multi-platform and tons of stuff like that. Hype beyond belief for Kingdom Hearts, like we talked about earlier. GTA is a single player game and the hype is through the roof, right? I think the tragedy of an industry like gaming, and it's been seen before in film because they're a similar medium, is usually when there's an industry shift, it takes the industry 10 years to catch up. We are just now hitting the 10-year number since Overwatch, which was 2016.
Yeah.
That's why I think we see a lot of this is that 10-year correction is beginning, where the hero shooter is dying. The multiplayer Fortnite-esque monetized games are failing because the industry is moving. I think multiplayer games will not die. They're bigger than ever. Let's be honest. I think single-player games are coming back because a lot of them are stale. So why not just spend your money on a good story-based game, especially now that graphics and storytelling is better in the industry. I think that's why you see hype for games like Deadlock. I'm obviously biased, but is because it feels fresh. It's an interpretation on something people love, and it's new. It is undeniably new. Whether it will succeed is one thing, but it's new. I think 2XKO suffered from the fact that it's a tag fighter, and there's a lot of tag fighters. It didn't do anything new enough. It was just a tag fighter with a pretty art style and had league characters, and I don't think that's enough. Valorant evolved the hero shooter by taking a tactical CSGO style move on it. League innovated on what Dota did by making it a skill shot based game where you didn't have to worry as much about farming. I don't think 2XK did enough. I think a lot of these games we see fail, like Highguard and stuff, because they don't innovate. They are simply a new interpretation of what's already there. And I think that's why even as we talked about GTA, when people talk about leaks and stuff and they say it doesn't seem that different, well, one, it's a leak. And two, innovation doesn't have to be grand swings. Like Deadlock purely saying, hey, this is a MOBA and it's third person similar to Smite, but it's a shooter now. Your aim matters. The items are built around it being a shooter, but you still have those other mechanics. Something small like that goes a long way. I mean, look at, again, Valorant. It just added abilities to Counter-Strike, and that instantaneously made the game a hit. I don't think you need to make big grand swings to make a game interesting. You need to find something that no one else is doing. Expedition was a great example. Add parrying in a Sekiro-esque style to a turn-based RPG. That's pretty much all it did. There's nothing else different about that game than Persona. It has the same elemental counters and everything from a Persona title. The biggest difference is it added something new. What makes your signature ramen better than the competitors? You add one secret ingredient. That's all you really need. And I think the industry is finally catching up with itself that these games that were at one point new aren't new anymore. Tag fighters aren't as fresh as they once were. Hero shooters aren't either. And I think that's why we see a lot of ugliness right now of stuff canceling and it being hard. It's time for that innovation to hit again. And unfortunately, it's coming in at a time where the economy is rough and the industry is in a tough spot. So the innovation is not just demanded from the player, but also from your boss because we're running out of money.
I think that's a really good point. Yeah, that there is a shift in the industry and consumer preferences, and gaming, it can hit hard for gaming if you're a little late because of how long game development cycles are.
Exactly.
So if you're not the first or one of the really early ones, and then it's like, if you're early, that means you were pretty close to being first, given how long it's been developing, right? So if you're not right there on the boat when there's a shift like Overwatch, you're going to miss it. Because if you see Overwatch and you're like, oh my God, and you give Overwatch a couple months to see it's doing well, and it's like, oh my God, we should do that. You spend several years making the game, and then you have Concord, and you spent billions of dollars in it because Overwatch made many more than that. So it's like, okay, makes sense. Right. You spend $1 billion and you get back 20 billion. But then by that point, it's like it's been 10 years of Overwatch, and it's still popular, but it's not at the height it used to be. So it's not going to make $20 billion anymore. But you just made Overwatch again, except it looks uglier. And then
and you doubled the price.
And it's not free. That's a crazy thing. It's not even free like Overwatch.
Overwatch was still $30 when that came out. You cannot charge $60 for PlayStation only.
I forgot. Overwatch was but now it's free now, right? Yeah, but it's like it's like you can't. If you're too late to these things, and you can't make these kinds of bets. If you miss the boat, you gotta wait for the next one. Otherwise you missed it. You jump in the water and you drown. It's like it's not gonna work. So I think that's the issue. That's also why indie games handle it better because they have shorter development periods, and
yes,
definitely.
You can really catch those shifts a lot quicker, as we see clearly with the sort of the friend swap games. You know, it's been like a couple. I mean, I would say maybe it really started with Among Us in the pandemic, maybe. But you know, it doesn't take long. It doesn't take long to make these games, and people are still interested. So there's still a lot of time for that. So that's why you see a lot of indie games doing that, obviously, because it makes money. Another one that's on a lesser scale, but you see it on Steam a lot, are these like shop-esque simulators. There's a ton of those. And I've played a lot of them, but at a certain point, they're all kind of the same. But you know, that's clearly another one where, you know, you could probably make a game and still do pretty well as long as you market yourself. But yeah, with these bigger games and companies, you gotta be a bit more strategic with how you approach
100%
that and your investments.
Yeah. I was gonna add, just to throw some positivity, Willis, you mentioned they refunded you for cosmetics, though.
They did.
Bought in that game. Okay, that is.
I have to fill out, I think, like a form to get it back.
Oh, interesting.
But there is a way to get my money back. Yes.
Because.
And they're gonna leave the servers up.
Happen more.
That's worth noting too. Servers will stay up. It's just not going to get anything new. So the 2 announced characters that are left, Lux and Samira, will come out, and but live development and continued support will end. Which, to be honest, is close to what a lot of fighting games go through. A lot of them only get 1 DLC pass and then it's done. You're 2 characters short of that. Usually they're 4. You got 2. Actually, no, because they released. I'm forgetting her name. But the one girl who has the cannon, and then Thresh as well, also are added. So you really got like 1 season of DLC, and then that's it. And that's what a lot of indie fighting games go through, to be honest. But yes,
I think more so like games that end like that, refunding cosmetics should be a requirement.
I agree.
Oh yeah.
Just I don't want to throw anything under the bus too harsh, but Splitgate, I think they should refund all those cosmetics. That game is going nowhere, and they still made money on cosmetics. So,
yeah, I agree. I'm surprised Riot's giving money back, honestly.
Splitgate is one example, but I'm glad to hear. No, that's very surprising. I was very surprised when I heard that, because honestly, like, I don't recall any other game that ended that early and has cosmetics ever refunding it. Never hear about that. So
no,
that definitely has to stick around.
Yeah. No, you raise a great point. I wish it was more common. I think I don't know. I'm curious to see how Riot handles this too, where it's one of those things like, oh, do you want your money back, or do you want it in Riot points for League?
Ooh,
you know, it's gonna be one of those things. I'm curious. I haven't done the process. I genuinely 10 minutes before we started the podcast, I got the email that was like, hey, you should receive an email in the next 2 weeks. If you don't before November 1st, email us to get your money back. Granted, I did not spend a lot of money on the game. I spent like, I think $20. I got like the battle pass so that I could get the Warwick skin.
It was still early, right?
It was very early, yeah.
Couldn't have had anything too grandeur, but
no.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'd like to see it become an industry standard.
Yeah, no, most definitely. At least for games that have lifespans like that. I'm not saying for like the day Fortnite shuts down, they
they can't. That would never happen.
Millions of dollars. But no, for something like that.
I think though, even if they didn't give me my money back, I do like that the game is not completely destroying servers. They're gonna allow for client-side play. They're going to allow for it to stay open. They're just not going to support the game anymore. And I think that also means that if it kept a good audience for a while, maybe one day they could revamp it.
Absolutely.
I like that it's not like
the Stop Killing Games movement is at this point.
I'm glad to see Riot doing that. I can't believe I'm complimenting them. They make so many mistakes. But I can give them props where they deserve it. And I think that's important. And that it's good to support consumers getting their money back. Even if it ends up being one of those, would you like us to just put money in your League account? Because I mean, I play League. I don't even know if I'd hate that. You know, fuck it, give me the $20. I'll buy a skin. I don't care.
You play League.
Yeah, quote me on it. Put it on my gravestone. At the end of the day, he was playing League. You know, it is what it is. But why can't that be an industry standard? I don't know. That used to be a thing when we were kids. Even if a game didn't have its servers, you could play locally. You could run your own server. The
Absolutely.
fact that we've moved away from that it feels like such a spit in the face of consumers.
It is strange.
It's weird. It's really weird.
Couch co-op isn't even like a thing anymore.
I know. It's like just like
on
Split
your own
Fiction
server.
and like other games. Great game, by the way.
Exactly. I have heard good things.
Yeah, no, that is good that Riot did that, but I think it's because it's Riot and they can. I mean, I'm sure internally this was like a big debate to even like shutter down development, but yeah, that's why I also think this is no way a financial thing, because it's like they probably knew what they were getting into, and it's like I think they just didn't. Someone just didn't want to do they never liked the fighting game. They didn't want to do it in the moment they got a chance to kill it. They did, but probably with resistance to like at least refund and keep the servers open. But I think someone just didn't like to XKO and internally, and they wanted to kill it.
I agree.
Not like financially or anything. Yeah.
I remember being super excited for it, and then I fell off it pretty hard. It was a very challenging game. I think that did not help. The fact that it was really tough to get into. And it's sad. It makes me sad because I think it was cool. And I think that it had a lot of promise, but they just couldn't execute. So it is what it is.
I'm hearing those like, damn, dude, I'd be so nervous to get into the fighting game genre, man. Because like even at Invincible versus Marvel Tokon or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, dude, those require like a lot to get a running start. Basically, like you said, depending on how competitive play ramps up, which is crazy because forcing competitive play also shoots you in the foot with stuff like Battlefield 5, basically forcing competitive play, and like Black Ops 4. They built it so much on competitive play, and it was just like died. Damn, dude, mixed bag, bro. It's crazy. Fighting games. Yeesh.
I'd love to have a wider fighting game discussion one day. I should maybe get my buddy Nil. He goes by Nil. Shout out to him. He may actually be watching on Twitch. He mods the Twitch chat some days. He's he's played in many tournaments for Under Night, which is a very niche anime fighter. I'd love to have him on to get his opinion on what he thinks FGC needs to do, because he's definitely a lot more versed than me. And I know for him to get good at Under Night, all the hoops he had to jump through. Like, he had to join a Discord. He had to meet people in that Discord to practice with, because that game's old and has no practice tools, really.
Yeah.
So you got to learn everything, I mean, like, bro's looking up combos on a Google Doc. I'm like, holy shit, bro. Like, that's insane,
Extremely niche community.
So I'd love to pick his brain at some point and be like, hey, what do you think they need to do? So maybe a future episode, special guest.
That'd be cool.
But I think this is an easy transition into talking about games that are multiplayer and trying to be innovative. We'll see if it ends up happening. Duskbloods. Dun dun dun.
Ooh, man.
I would love to have talked today on this podcast about some first impressions of the game. I woke up at 6 a.m. EST to play it, and they shut the tests down. So I'm tired as fuck. Mildly disappointed. But I'm looking forward to the playtest this evening.
That would be cool, yeah.
I'm not going to pass judgment because they let me into the playtest and I haven't played it yet. But I will comment on what I've seen online. And then I'll let Glenn cook, because Glenn is not in the playtest and he can voice himself however he'd like.
I will be very unkind. I'll let Willis go first.
I think, bluntly, this game is entirely going to depend on how you feel about Night Rain. It feels similar to Night Rain in a sense that it's just adding PvP, but the PvP appears to not be throughout. It's a phased-based match where it gives you tasks that you need to complete during phases. If you die, you are eliminated. If you survive long enough, you make it to a battle royale sequence at the end and then kill each other, and the winner gets to leave with all of the stuff that they have, similar to an Escape from Tarkov or Arc Raiders style game. And all of that being in Souls style combat, similar to Bloodborne particularly. I have no idea how it's going to work. That's why I really was hoping I would have the chance to like have at least touched the game for a match before I could get on here, because I don't really know what to say. Even having seen footage, I'm kind of like, I have to play this before I can really understand. But I've got to be honest, multiplayer Souls game, console exclusive, it better be good. I need to be blown away this evening. And I love FromSoft. I have nothing bad to say about them in general. And I'm not against them experimenting. I know we just talked about that with 2XKO. I actually don't hate the idea of them doing Dustbloods. I just don't know if it should be we want to make multiplayer games like this moving forward, right? I had no problem with them experimenting at all. I actually think it's a good thing. But that also doesn't mean that it's going to work, you know? I think they're not afraid of that. Like we were talking about, Riot is afraid of that. But I also don't blame them. They're working on some big single player probably, and Nintendo wanted them to have an exclusive. Threw money at them, they'll make whatever they want. But
yeah, and just a quick note on that point, because Miyazaki did give like a media interview following this network test.
Oh yeah,
and this is just off the top of my head, so I might be a little wrong. But the fact that Night Rain and Duskbloods came out pretty close to each other, I think was more of a coincidence than anything, at least with what he said. And it isn't necessarily like a signal that they're moving towards these type of games, like necessarily. I think they know that their thing is the big single player experience that is Dark Souls, Sekiro, and Elden Ring. So, and presumably working on whatever that is coming up next, whether that's a new IP or Elden Ring 2, we'll see.
At Cerulean Seas or whatever they called it.
Oh,
bro,
that's right.
I hope
I
that's
forgot
true.
about that. Yeah,
bro, I hope that's true. Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I'm definitely obviously more excited for their single player stuff, but I also think that it's good to experiment a bit. And I think in particular with these two, you can really tell that because multiplayer is important, that they've definitely upgraded whatever the hell was going on in previous Souls games, where the latency when you get invaded or you're doing co-op was just not it. But Night Rain wasn't perfect, but definitely a huge step up. Yeah. And I think for Duskbloods, this will be really important to have something that's seamless multiplayer. And especially then you're also doing this on a Switch, so that's a completely different environment. But they did highlight that they did approach Nintendo first for this one, which was also interesting in the interview they gave. It wasn't the other way around, which is what I assumed. So From Software did pitch this to Nintendo.
I didn't know that either, actually. So that's really good to know.
Crazy.
Yeah, so,
Miyazaki apparently loves Tarkov, which is funny.
Right, yeah. And at the very least, I think even if these two aren't your games, I did get Night Rain, but I didn't play a lot of it. Not really my thing. Never did co-op or invasions in their other games as well. But it will benefit their single player because they always have like the invasions or the co-op stuff. So I think being able to experiment more and improve their multiplayer capabilities will be a big boon for their eventual main single player game.
Oh yeah. Definitely. That's what I want to happen. I wanted these to be chances to improve the multiplayer sections of the single player experience.
Yeah.
Because the most I've played of Souls multiplayer was in Armored Core. Like the one-on-one matches. Those were very fun.
It was very well done, though.
Yeah.
Extremely well done. I think one of the best PvP systems they've ever had.
100%. I strongly agree with that.
Yeah.
I've heard the vibes are immaculate from people who got in and were able to play a little bit. I've heard it's very Bloodborne core to the point where it's almost like, Sony, please do something. Fuck.
They make an Astrobot now, bro. It's over.
Even that, apparently, did you see that leak that they're going to move away from Astrobot as their like mascot now or something? I hate to tell you that on cam.
That is devastating if true, bro.
You might want to look this up while I'm yapping.
Well done.
You thought killing physical is just the discs? No, that bot's gone too.
Oh, dude. All right. I can't get too sidetracked.
No. Here, let me get into ranting about Duskbloods, and you can look that up in the background.
Okay. Yeah, I'll see what I can find.
But I mean, I think a lot of it is going to depend upon the vibes. I really do. Like, one of the reasons Night Rain, I think, suffered was it's really fun. And I actually played a lot of Night Rain. Played a lot of co-op Night Rain. And I think I have like 100-something hours in the game. And I beat every boss. I saw the endings. I really liked Night Rain, but it's so much more fun co-op. I really hope that they have balanced this to be a single-player experience, because Night Rain definitely sucked as a single-player experience.
Yeah.
And I need to know how much of this is PvP. Because it's PvPvE. And I need to understand how much of this is me just doing stuff on my own, and then at the end of a match, I fight other players. Because I'm not against that. Like, fighting different bosses and stuff, and then doing a run. And also, here's my other problem. I've complained about this with League. And Night Rain suffered from it too. A lot of games like this are fun because they're an in-and-out experience. I've heard Dustblood's matches are 30 minutes. It's a long time.
Interesting. That is a long time.
That's a really long time to like build up your character to then do PvP stuff at the end. That's a good commitment of time. You could be making a really rage-inducing game, which maybe that's their goal, to make something challenging as they have with, something like Sekiro, where they're not afraid of it being hard. It's going to be a League-like scenario where you're locked in this 30-minute match, and I guess if you get eliminated, right, then it's over.
Yeah. Well,
so maybe it's not as big a deal. But I need to know how hard the game is, how consistent it is, and what you get for winning. If you get like huge rewards for winning and stuff like that, similar to an extraction shooter, perhaps that loop is there. And it would be interesting to see if it gives you that one more match feeling. Because I'm not sure I always got that with Night Rain. If I was playing with friends and then we quit, there was no like, maybe I hop on solo queue for a bit or something. I never felt that way. I was always like, all right, well, I guess we'll just play again whenever everybody's free. And eventually one day people just stopped being free, and then it was done.
So, from what I've read, I think... Yeah. So 2 things. I think PvP seems like it's unavoidable, at least getting all the way to the end.
Yeah.
So I don't think you can completely avoid the PvP.
That makes sense.
But that's different than being able to play, solo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, the Night Rain, no PvP, right? And it was purely PvE. But like you said, the balancing, it was not fun to play alone, right? And then even random online ones were a bit more enjoyable, but that's usually also not my thing. I want to be able to hop in alone, even if there is PvP. I want to be able to be capable of handling things like on my own, if that's the choice, right?
Yeah.
And I think in the interview, he said, I think they do take that into consideration. Like, okay, maybe it's a PvP game, but maybe your skills aren't quite, sweaty enough. And so I think there are probably going to be builds where you could still probably win matches just based on how you build your characters, because it seems like you have like companions. So if you are not as skilled in pure like mechanical PvP, you could just focus on builds where your companions are stronger, or those are strengthened versus like maybe just your own character. So would be interesting, like if you do get the chance to play, the build variety that exists and how much of that can accommodate more of a solo, more of a like less PvP focused type of play style, even though at the end of the day I think it is unavoidable.
Yeah.
And then go ahead.
I was gonna say, from what I was doing research on, I'm curious to try it tonight. There's classes, so there's different characters that play differently, and it appears that there's multiple ways to level up before the final PvP encounter. And I think the final PvP encounter is going to be actually give chances for skill-based expression, but it appears it's going to allow you to have a lot of cheese. This is my one hope faith I saw today. I saw 2 clips. I saw 2 guys duking it out at the end of a match and having like a Devil May Cry style parry battle against each other, where like one guy was Sekiro parrying and the other dude was doing aerial combos, and eventually the aerial combo guy got behind the other guy and killed him and won, right? That's that cool PvP-ness that they want that to have. I also saw a clip of a guy letting other 2 people fight in the final 3, and then he used a dinosaur transformation right as the other guy killed the guy to bite him and throw him off the map and win. There needs to be stupid bullshit like that for people who aren't going to put 10,000 hours into Souls PvP. Like, you got to give people that chance. And I think having classes that would allow for that is fun. And I hope that they've balanced it well to where it's not one of those things of like, you still have a chance if you're not as skilled as someone else. Because if that's not the case, then a huge chunk of your fan base is not going to play. Because you need this game. You need this game. Clearly, Nintendo believes this can sell Switches, or they wouldn't have let it happen. Even with FromSoft approaching them, they clearly have faith in the game. But we're gonna find out.
Because I'm not good at PvP, especially
I'm not that great either, PvP, to be honest.
Where especially if you introduce like all this latency and there's people who've like been molded and
those Nintendo servers,
born in
bro.
it, right? Yeah. So, but if you do give me a class that can cheese and cheat, I will use that. I will weasel my way out of fights. I will run. I will use the environment. I'll use whatever I can to kill the other player without relying on skill, you know? And if they can let me do that, then I would probably enjoy that a bit more.
Dude, Mark would be blocking elevators on the high wall of Lothric all day.
Hey, if that's what it takes to win, if that's what it takes to win.
This guy.
So I am excited to give it a try. But I hope they know what they're doing. I'm gonna try and play it with the Pro Controller I have for my Switch, the Joy-Cons, and then in handheld. I really want to know how it feels in the different ways of playing. But we're gonna find out. I got nothing else to say. Glenn, if you wanted to go crazy, by all means.
You bet it. All right, so I'll be nice to start, right? Vibes, immaculate, right? I think the vibe of Duskbloods, very cool. I loved Bloodborne. Bloodborne was the first From Software I finished. Not the first one I played, but the first one I finished. And wow, I mean, very cool. Very, very, very cool. I love what they're doing. But damn, I hate how these new games do not allow for any patience. Nothing allows you to take your time in these new ones. I thought I was going to buy Night Rain. I did not. Purely on From Software has always been enjoyable single player experience, right?
Yeah.
I can take my time, I can learn things, I can do things. Night Rain kind of took that away. It forces you to follow this. I'm just gonna call it the storm. I don't know what it is. It's the Fortnite storm.
It's the Fortnite storm.
And it just like forces you to be quick, which
you have to. Like you cannot. Yeah. I approached, because I remember playing it, and I approached it like Elden Ring, and you just die. You have to go. You have to get your upgrades. You have to fight the bosses. You know, it is a rush. Yeah. And I'm like, some people like that. I did not like it.
No. I think it did an interesting thing to our brain that it was put in like this Elden Ring engine, because Elden Ring is by far the slowest we've ever had. Not counting like Dark Souls 2 slow, because like life gems and the areas, those are slow. But like Elden Ring, I consider that Dark Souls 2 too. Like,
yeah, in a lot of ways it is
so slow. Yeah, so slow. It allows you to take your time. One of the reasons why I don't like it though is Elden Ring to me made taking your time feel unfun. Too big. I didn't like going through the same dungeon every single time, but I know a lot of people liked it. But now with this Duskblood things, now it seems like boss fights will have to be rushed again.
Yes.
Whereas, I better defeat this boss as quick as possible, so that some like Pussy Slayer 99 coming up on my 6 is about to kill it if I don't. Yes. I don't know how it works. But if it's like like in PvP in other Dark Souls, right when you make it to the boss, the invader leaves, right? You essentially evaded the invader. You've evaded him, right? I don't know how it works here, but it doesn't seem like that's going to be an option.
No, it has phases. There's phases to the match.
Okay.
It's like,
and so, like,
3 phases.
PvPers could be fucking your shit up, like, while you're trying to level up, I presume.
Yeah.
Like,
you have to earn, I think they called it virtue points, and it makes you stronger. And then you have to have as many of those as you can. You get those by killing bosses, defeating other players, or other things.
there's just so much to go off of now, and it's like just close enough for me to be like, this isn't a Souls-like anymore.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like a Souls-like. I have to charge my thing. Because Night Rain to me definitely a Souls-like, just different.
Yeah.
I think the class system is okay. I wish it wasn't, but then again, I don't see how you can balance a PvP system that they're going for without a class system.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
And so the vibes of the classes are good, right? I love the vibe of the classes in Night Rain as well. I think the Perry guy, Eagle girl, I don't know. I don't know their names, but it's like easily recognizable people. They all have their own traits. I kind of see the same in Duskbloods, right? I only know of like
distinct play styles and such.
Guy, vampire guy, dinosaur guy, axe wielding,
like moon wizard guy, etc.
Yes,
Vietnamese girl.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
and then we have Zork.
Then we got Zork, the guy who deposes and uses the rocket like fucking Armored Core.
Right, that was the reveal of him soaring through the fucking sky.
Yeah, if you like Armored Core, there's your class. It's me. They're talking to me.
Like he was flying over Rhea Lucario or whatever. That was a funny scene. But that being said, the final point I wanted to make: the Switch 2. All right, that was a pretty big bombshell when I heard Mark say from Soft approach Nintendo with this.
That was for me too.
I think, yeah.
Okay. I'll just base my assumption off of that because that's wild. Like the Switch 2 exclusivity. That's like, where you're going after Nintendo heads. Like,
are
you sure? Like, this is like the FromSoft PvP community that you're forcing to be on Switch. Like, they take it seriously.
Yeah, they're a hardcore community.
Kid. It's like getting into this game,
bro. Some poor child's gonna get dunked on, bro.
I don't see this being the best money generator. I don't think it's gonna sell Switch 2s. I'm sorry.
I don't think so either. And I'm excited, but
yeah, I think it's very easy as a fan like us, Willis, to be excited. For you specifically, you have more than enough reasons to get the Switch 2, and now you have Duskbloods.
And it feels like a bonus. Easy. It's not the reason I bought the Switch. I think that's a great point. Yeah.
And depending on who approached who, I don't see this resulting in more Switch 2 sales. I think the people that love the Switch 2 have it, and there isn't a Switch 2 and Dark Souls overlap. I don't see that connection being like that big a deal. So I'm not buying it. I've made that very clear. I've always hated the From Software PvP.
It's not your style.
I'm not going to buy a whole game that is based around that. Vibes are immaculate. I could easily I see the funniness and appeal of calling it Bloodborne 2. Yeah, that's funny.
It is funny.
I think the vibe is there.
It is. It's very Bloodborne core. Yeah.
Scary moon vampires.
Apparently you literally apparently when you win the match, you like take the blood of the other players and offer it to the moon. That's like the winning animation.
Dude,
it's like that's crazy Bloodborne influence.
Hey, after what we saw on Night Rain, Nameless King coming back, Artorias coming back, I would not be surprised if we see some Bloodborne bosses.
Oh, yeah.
Just thrown up in there, same movesets, put the moon presence in there. Bro, if a dude's fight right before the final PvP fight is Gurman,
tough scenes.
That's gonna be fun.
That's a run ender. That's a run ender.
Even if they call it currency insight in Duskbloods, bro, I'd be like, oh, okay, they're cooking.
I really agree with you. I think my initial excitement for Duskbloods was different than how I feel about it right now. Because I'm still excited. I'm very happy they let me in their playtest. Thank you, From Software and Nintendo. That being said, I didn't hate the idea when people were saying it's an extraction game. Because in my mind, I liked the idea of a FromSoft game, Bloodborne-esque, with maybe a campaign, right? That as you play through it, you are on a server, essentially. You're playing through this story, you're interacting with it, maybe as a more mission-based story than something like Bloodborne originally, so it's more like Armored Core, right? But when you go into these instances for missions, there's just other people there. And it makes that world feel alive, right? And it's like, could this person help you kill the boss? Could they kill you and take your stuff? Similar to Arc Raiders. I think that's a cool idea for a Souls game. I actually really like that. And so initially, I wasn't against the idea of, oh yeah, just adding an extra layer of fear to your Souls run. Like, I could lose my souls now instead of just to an enemy, to another player who has an incentive to kill me. Maybe they want to take my souls, you know? Or maybe they're here and want help with a boss, right? And so you work together. I thought that was a cool, natural progression to add tension to the already very tension-filled Souls-like, right?
Yeah.
So when I started hearing reports that it was like 30-minute matches with phases, I'm not going to lie, that did disappoint me a little bit. That wasn't what I was envisioning when Miyazaki talked about his Tarkov influence he was putting into the game. I imagined a Souls-style boss fight mission-based game that just happened to have people in it. Like now there is no invasions. The multiplayer is just seamless. And I was like, that's cool, because maybe you wouldn't need a lot of players to keep that game alive. Because, you know, it would make it more sparse, but there'd still be people you'd run into, you know? Similar to a fighting game, right? Like, how many people do you... Like, when you do a mission, how many people do you need in that mission? 4? Wouldn't need a lot to make it tense of, like, is that an NPC or is that a person? I don't know, right?
Yeah.
It's interesting, but it appears they're not taking it that direction. And maybe I'm wrong. Yeah. Maybe I will boot it up tonight. It will have a campaign, and you just do these 30-minute runs, and you're kind of focused on killing a boss, and then end up having to PvP because everybody has to kill the same boss, so you got to kill each other and then do it. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah. But my impression of what I saw, such as seeing a clip of a match win animation, that doesn't give me hope of that seamless experience I was hoping for. But I'll let them cook. I have not touched the game. I hate passing judgment on something I have not touched, especially now that I have the opportunity for it. It would be one thing if I was in your situation, Glenn, where I'd have to literally buy a Switch for it. That's tough, right? I already had the Switch, as you made a great point. You know, this was not why I bought the Switch. I bought the Switch for Mario Kart and for The Legend of Zelda. That is why I own this Switch. Those two are huge influences. I spend a lot of time in those games. I like both of those. Yeah. It is what it is, right? Like Switch 2 giving me Tears of the Kingdom at 60 frames per second was like, that was enough for me to want to get one. You know, I've replayed that game on the Switch 2. It's great. But yeah, I don't know. I will have to wait and see. But I am a little disappointed that it wasn't this idea I had, because I got really excited about that idea. I was like, Bloodborne 2 with seamless player-to-player interaction sounded cool to me. But
and I think at the end of the day, network tests getting shut down. That's what it's there for.
I was about to say, nothing's bad about that, by the way. I'm disappointed because I went to bed late last night. I was playing Kingdom Hearts at like 1 in the morning, and then was like, oh, yeah, they emailed me. Mark was there when this happened. I was on with Mark and Marco. Wish Marco could have been here today. I was playing Kingdom Hearts 1, went, I never checked my email for the times for the network test. Opened that bitch up, said 6 a.m. EST, and I went, went to bed, barely got any sleep, to get up to see that it was canceled. And then I'm like, well, I guess I'm up. Time to make breakfast before I have to go to work. You know, like it's
one of those days.
I was already only going to get like 2 hours in anyway, because I was going to have to go to work. And it was like,
Yeah, that's rough.
And I think, I mean, that's what it's there for.
Network tested.
You don't want to do that shit on launch. Yeah,
network tested.
I already saw that animation of it. Was the main menu, and like that was like the boss slain animation from like Elden Ring, where it says like the title, and it was like network tested.
That's pretty funny.
So it is what it is, right? Like, this is what it was for. As much as I think people are sad.
I think at the end of the day, they had to learn what the Switch 2 can handle, and they're like, "All right, boys, let's let's try something
Let's
else."
do some
We need to beef up
limit
those.
testing.
We need to beef up those servers. Turn up.
Rev up those priors.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll see. I think it won't. I don't know what to say because Bloodborne is exclusive forever, but I don't think Dustbloods will be exclusive forever. But
We'll see.
Who knows at this point? Because Bloodborne, that's there to stay.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I know. I was gonna say I am probably going to show up as a data point for having gotten the Switch 2 because of this. Because well, see, here's the thing. Like, I'm already very on the fence. Like, I've been like sort of thinking about getting a Switch 2, mainly because to play 14.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'll be honest. Like, that might be enough. And I might probably buy it within the next couple months and then play Duskbloods just to see.
I think that's what they're waiting for.
So I will be a data point for that, and we'll see how many of us there were, how many Switch 2s were sold.
They just needed those fence riders to get one more push off.
Right, exactly. It's like, that's the thing with the Switch. Also, it's like you see these exclusives come out, and you're like, oh, I don't really want to buy it yet. But then another one drops, and eventually there will be a game where you're finally like, fine, I'll buy a Switch 2.
Yeah.
And we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, never underestimate the power of loving a franchise. I think is a good way to capstone this. I'll give a complete disclosure. Glenn will be disappointed in me when I say this. I was a Kingdom Hearts fan growing up. I would like to state that I love that the collections are available now, because back in the day, if you wanted to play every Kingdom Hearts game, you needed to have a PS2, a Game Boy, a Nintendo DS, a PSP, and then eventually a PS3. Fuck that. I had to work a lot of summer jobs as a kid and sell a lot of shit that I had and give it with friends or whatever and save money, to afford all of that. That was ass.
All those different systems. You gotta buy
I worked like an 8-hour job as a teenager at one point to afford a 3DS for Dream Drop Distance in the summer while I was taking like a summer class too, because I'm a clown. No, but I guarantee there's some diehard Souls people who will not miss it, even if it's
absolutely.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
So the question is, how big is that percentage? Because it's been proven time and time again, us Kingdom Hearts fans are diehards. We will make all the pivots, and I'm happy that you can just play on anything now. We're gonna find out if the FromSoft community is as committed. Clearly, they're banking on the idea that there's enough of them that it's worth it. So we will see.
We will. Very interesting.
I would like to do one quick thing before we wrap up. I had a request to show my Cloud Strife Buster Sword that Marco had gifted me, which was very kind of him. It was a gift that showed up. However, I literally don't think it will fit in frame. But I'm gonna try and get it and show it on camera. If I can't completely show it in the camera frame, I'll pull the picture up. But if y'all want to stall for 30 seconds while I go grab this, feel free.
Absolutely.
Speaking of other FromSoft stuff, I finally beat Dark Souls 3, which I wasn't planning to, by the way. I was still, but I did tell Glenn that I will finally go back to Sekiro. I'm calling it Sekiro September, so that'll be big. It's going to be a big month where I will surely beat Sekiro in the month of September. I'll start a new game because it's been a while. I only got past the first boss anyway.
Yeah,
but
that'd be good.
I did. I logged back into Dark Souls 3 and just went up to because I already have him unlocked. So went up to Soul Cinder, gave him a couple tries. Actually didn't take I didn't count, but it didn't take too long. Definitely a couple tries, getting back used to it and remembering the moveset. But yep, got him. Did a ending.
Do you remember which one?
So I remember because I'm always a simp. So I used to do the simp endings. So there was a bonfire, but then there was a marking on the ground, and I'm like, I think that's a simp ending. So she showed up. Yeah, she showed up and she turned off the lights, and I'm like, okay, it's getting real dark. Should we turn on the lights again? Or
here.
No, that didn't happen. So
I'm gonna try and do this for 1 second.
Good luck, Willis.
This is gonna be interesting. Turn my camera back on. Okay. This thing's huge. To put it in perspective, I'm sitting in my chair and it's still as tall as I am. It's real metal, which is insane.
Oh.
I'm gonna try. I have to take my headphone off for this, I think, but I'll stand.
Okay.
I just hit something on my desk. Let's move that over there. It's massive. It's actually like insane how big.
Damn.
It's real metal, so this thing's like heavy as fuck. It has gemstones. And if I stand far enough back, I think you can see all of it. But even then, it's like next to me. It's almost as tall as I am. This thing weighs like 40 pounds.
God damn.
Oh my goodness.
It's ridiculous. So big shout out to Marco. Not to interrupt.
Huge shout out to Marco. That's really generous, Marco. That's insane.
Here, 1 second. I'm going to move it back because I have nowhere else to put it.
No, that's sick. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. You noticed the song that played when you fought Soul Cinder, right?
Of course.
Song?
Yeah. Good, I was like, yeah, there we go. Died immediately, but yeah.
And I know I've said this before, but that is your character from Dark Souls 1 if you link the fire. So I love that boss fight. I think he's better than Slave Knight Gale at the end of the DLCs.
So yeah, I was gonna, because I beat the game and I'm satisfied with that, but I'm obviously not done. So I did that and I'm like, okay, let's give old Nameless King a try again.
Oh yeah.
That one's tough. And to be fair, I probably need a couple more levels. I don't think I'm nearly good enough. Like phase 1 is I can usually get down pretty okay, but his phase 2, it's like I need to see him more. Like he is relentless. I do like no damage, and he just kills me. So phase 2 is the real tough part. Hopefully that's only 2 phases. I actually don't remember. Then there's Sister Freed, which, to be honest, I don't think I can beat her without the summon. So I don't know. I'll try, but because I remember, because I was playing a couple months ago and I got to Sister Freed and I was trying not to use the summon, and she's tough. And then just out of curiosity, I did the summon.
Yeah.
And I got to phase 3 easy. And then I was like, well, that doesn't really feel satisfying. And he was still alive and I was going through phase 3. I'm like, okay, let me not do this. So I killed myself. But she's tough.
Yeah.
I'll try to beat her without the summon, but that might be tough. And then before I quit for the night, I started the Ring City DLC.
Right.
And I hate it.
That was really fun to watch you do that.
Terrible.
You were getting your ass beat.
Awful. Awful. I don't think I'm even in the Ring City proper yet. I'm still like on the outskirts, and it's terrible.
It's a hard DLC.
But no, that's not fun. And I'm like, I think that's my main issue with Dark Souls 3. I really tapered off at the end. I think overall, I enjoyed like the first 80%, but these last, where it's like you've kind of done. I think I've done almost everything, and it's just these tough cookies left. And
true test of skill at the end.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I at least got the credits, so I can say beat it. So I don't feel bad about not beating it before starting Sekiro, but I beat it technically.
That's true.
So that is done. I'll probably eventually finish it, but I'm not gonna let that hold me back any longer from finally starting Sekiro.
So that's exciting.
That's over. Out of the way.
I cannot wait.
Mm-hmm.
That will be truly my biggest test of patience ever, is waiting for you to see the credits of Sekiro.
Oh man, you might have to be patient a little longer. You might have to still be patient. Even with me playing the game, it might be
Mark, you have 3 months, and then when GTA comes out, that can be your like break.
If Mark doesn't finish in September, I don't know what I'll do. I'm like, what?
The thing is, I don't know what to expect. Like, even if I'm playing like constantly, like I don't know what to expect. So
I'm trying to think how long Sekiro was compared
like
to the others.
Shortest.
It is
Really?
shorter. I remember.
Shorter than Dark Souls 3.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah,
But
that's what I was gonna say.
It's like,
because let me see.
I guess it depends how much of the optional stuff you want to do.
that is true. Yeah.
There's a lot of optional content in Sekiro.
There is a lot of optional stuff in Sekiro, but to the point of like Dark Souls 3 still has like double the optional.
So the crazy thing is, like, Dark Souls 3, I have 56 hours in.
Yeah.
And the first one I have 41. But the weird thing is, like, Dark Souls 1 felt, I mean, I don't know, like, Dark Souls 3 in a way felt relatively short, and maybe that's because I took so many breaks and I forget. But it didn't. I'm surprised by that number, that 56. Like, I thought it would be closer to my Dark Souls 1 playthrough. Like, because Dark Souls 1 felt like a longer experience, but that's probably because I actually did play it in one playthrough. And Dark Souls 3, I fell off a couple times. So yeah, we'll see. So if Sekiro is shorter, then unless something tragic happens with my skill,
I definitely could be. I don't know, because I've replayed Sekiro more times than I can count on all of my hands. Mm-hmm. So it probably feels very quick to a guy like me. But yeah, I don't know.
What I'm afraid of is, like, every other boss is like the Twin Princess for me. And
there's no shot. There's no chance.
I think it will be quite the learning curve for you, Mark, to be honest. But I think once you get it, once you get it, it's not so bad.
Well, as long as I don't have to learn parrying, then it should be fine.
I hit like a perfect. I hit a perfect ninja meme up.
Yeah, no. As a matter of fact, you might have to do some
dudes be like, Sekiro's kind of hard, and you see him dodge roll.
Light parrying, okay, but like once in a while, I'll
get iframes. Like, oh, you don't say.
This expedition game's hard, bro. They just hit me and I die.
Yeah. As long as I don't have to unlock that Mercury counter or whatever, we don't need
that. That's definitely one of the last you should go for.
Yeah. Totally. As long as we have, I think it should be light work as long as I don't need it. So.
Yeah, the wasted skill for real.
Yeah.
Much better study it somewhere else, like the Nightshade Dash.
Right. Yeah. Let's be real. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a bit of a learning curve, but that's okay.
I cannot wait. Oh.
All right. We want to wrap it up there?
Yeah.
I think so.
Good. It's getting late. We're hungry.
That was the Buster Sword. I hope you all...
Yes, I'm glad I got the chance to show that. I know people had asked. I did want to show it. I was worried I wouldn't be able to make it fit in camera, but I think you could get a rough idea of how big it was.
Yeah.
Because I could show a photo, but even then it doesn't do it justice.
Totally.
But yeah. Thank you all so much for watching. We will be back next week. Maybe Wednesday, maybe Friday. I don't know what people's schedules look like. We may do a Friday one again so that we can talk about GTA.
That's true.
The day after it happens. That might be a good move. Yeah. So we may do Friday again next week as a heads up for everybody. So other than that, thank you all. Take care. We'll see you next week. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for watching COFY Cast.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
We love you. Bye.